It's crazy being back here.
Yeah?
Man, I feel so old, but nothing much has changed.
No?
Library. When I lived here, when I came back, and Miss Ryan popped over, she was able to come in the middle of my presentation. I was talking about her too. Yeah, so that was cool. She didn't even guide me. She just let me be me. So maybe that's what I learned. Just do you. You know, write what you want to write.
In 2021, she formed Phyll-Good Entertainment. And out of Phyll-Good Entertainment came On Deaf Ears. She started a publishing company, she wrote her own books, and has produced her own film. I present to you Portia A. Cosby.
A full circle moment for me, especially to be here in this space, because it was here where my creativity was born and encouraged. It was right up on the 3rd floor of Mrs. Ryan's class, and she was the one who was like, you have a gift and you need to use it. This film is also born out of a real passion of mine. Some of you know this, some of you don't, but I do have a daughter who has some exceptionalities, some special needs, and the film was born out of a real fear of mine. I hope you all enjoy the film. Please don't be shy. We're gonna have some awesome panelists up here to discuss the topic, but then we want to hear from you all too, so there's gonna be some Q&A and stuff involved as well.
Nervous, so he slowed down, and the police officer said, "Do you know why I'm pulling you over?" My son is 16, he had no idea. I said, "Well, you scared him. He's scared now." I said, "Maybe you should have handled this a little bit differently, because now I'm looking at this as if, was this race?" It's hard enough when you do understand it, but it's even harder when they don't understand.
I think people need to understand that it's not always based on race. Sometimes it is perception as a law enforcement officer, and it's not always just the fact that it might be an African-American male or female, but in here it was an African-American officer as well. That this is a video that definitely needs to be shown in the law enforcement world, in the world period, but definitely so officers can get a better understanding of what that looks like when you have someone that has an actual disability. I've made mistakes. I actually thought a young man had a gun as well, and he did not have a weapon, but he was reaching like there was a weapon, and I did have my gun pointed out. Thank the Lord God, he did not allow me to pull the trigger, but I didn't know it actually was a phone.
To be in that, and I have worked with students that have had an array of diagnoses, and how do they respond to that? That's just heart-wrenching to me, because some of them just don't understand.
Yeah.
You know, and some of them would be over anxious and respond inappropriately.
That makes sense to me. If mom is saying, let's count. To me, that's speaking something to the officer. And you said, Portia, gun. That's what he heard. From that point on, it was like preservation of life, my own safety, officer safety. We're taught to think about officer safety, but as a mom, I have my oldest son that's an IEP, so he has issues. He has social anxieties. He's tried to commit suicide a couple of times already. So I'm very understanding.
For me, my career has been about connecting with the community. I've been in situations over the course of my career where I had inspired to have me in these bad situations. But this reminds me of just slow down. If you want to slow it down, keep having conversations, keep talking.
And but I felt like the story was just so necessary. Basically, the log line is a mother's worst fear comes true when her special needs daughter's actions are misunderstood at a traffic stop. And it's based on a real fear. And so that was interesting for me to write and actually put out.